Welcome back to Let's Cook Everything, the channel where we cook everything. Today we are doing a classic German dessert that you may have heard about, and it is actually, you know what? I don't think that my viewers are ready for ice cream spaghetti yet. It's coming, so warning, but since you can't even handle open cabinets, I don't think you can handle spaghetti ice cream. So instead we're going to add flowers to it, make spaghetti ice cream cookies is today's challenge. Let's start the recipe. But before that, let me speak about my life history and what this recipe means to me. In the beginning, let's start with 100 grams of butter. One stick is 120, so what is this? 8 divided by 120 is like some amount. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means 4 of them is 160. So that means 2 of them is 30. So that means 1 of them is 15. So that means I need to cut it right here. I know there's a German TV show for weighing. Let's see if this is exactly 100. It's 91, so that math was off somehow. Alright, exactly 100 grams, minus the wrapper, whatever. The next step is to let this get more room temperature. So I'm going to go out and run for an hour. You can do whatever you want. Alright, the butter is in the bowl. You'll notice it seems to have multiplied. That's because I wanted to double the recipe and I forgot to. So there is 100 grams times 2 of butter. Now let's do 150 grams times 2 of flour. $150 appears to be about a cup, but we're doing 300. $300 on the nose. And then we're going to do 20 grams of cornstarch. This seems like a lot, but I honestly haven't used cornstarch in a while, so maybe this isn't. 20 grams, but we're multiplying it by 2 again. So that's 40 grams of cornstarch. I know that there's some left in there, but it doesn't matter. As long as you tear it and you clean it out at the end, it's all gravy. Next up is 50 grams times 2 of sugar. There is 50 times 2 and a little bit of bonus sugar because this is an American recipe. Or it's a German recipe, but an American style. Now next we have 1 packet of vanilla sugar, which is a thing that exists in Germany. I think it's about 8 grams of sugar times 2, 12, sure, close enough, plus vanilla extract. I have no idea how much vanilla extract, so 2 tablespoons is probably a reasonable amount, right? And now we stir. Oh, let's get all of this in here. We stir, baby, stir. Stir, baby, stir. There isn't really any liquid. It's supposed to be a bit of a crumbly mixture until you can really cream the butter into it. Okay. You know what? This is very hard to mix. So what we're going to do is take off the ring, clean our hands, and mix it by hand because this is getting me nowhere. Okay. It doesn't really need like a bread dough, but it's not a bread dough, it's a cookie dough, so I guess that's okay. I've never had to knead a cookie dough like this, and it does feel kind of gross, but keep in mind I am going to cook it later, so hopefully it's not too gross for you. Next up, we are going to chill it for half an hour. So I'm going to make a little cookie dough ball, and then we'll put it in the fridge to chill, let it rise before we roll it out. I'll cover it in saran wrap, I suppose. My recommendation to always get your saran wrap to lay smooth is to just do it right, and then it'll always come nice and smooth. Okay, it's been 30 minutes or so. The dough looks the exact same as it did before. We're gonna take half of it and roll it out until it's an unspecified thickness. I don't have chopsticks to help with this. Actually, I suppose I do. I don't know if this is how thick I want it or not though, because legitimately, it didn't really say, and it's hard to tell from a video. I think they're pretty thin though. This looks kind of thick, but I think it's good enough. Now, the recipe I was following said to do 4-centimeter circles. That's incredibly small. This is 6. I think this is a better, maybe this, slightly smaller. This is a better size, I think, for the base of a cookie. And remember, we did double the recipe. It was supposed to make 24-inch ones. I was expecting it to make 40, but if we're increasing the size, maybe we went back down to 20. I won't pick this one, but I think this is fine. I don't know if there's a fear of over mixing if I keep having to recompile the dough, but we'll try it. Alright, cut them out and toss them over there. No! If you're wondering, why I felt not confident enough to clean my counter, and that's why I'm using this instead of just a clean counter. I don't have an answer. I was just doing that based on vibes. If you're wondering if I've ever used a rolling pin before, the answer is yes. However, not recently. And if there's a trick to get it to not stick, I've forgotten it. So let me go hit up Google real quick. Maybe I had too much dough. The one concern that I am aware of is if you do it in multiple batches, you might have different thicknesses of your final product. And my solution for that is just to roll it out to the same thickness so that I don't have different thicknesses. Do it right is usually a good answer for a lot of problems, I've found. Okay, funnily enough, they said that the answer, I was right next to it, is to just fold it over and to roll it out between the paper instead of underneath. Probably helps to also have a clean pin. That looks okay. Okay, that's 3, 6, 9, 12. These are way too thick. There's no way I doubled the recipe and I'm still going to end up with only 20. Less than that, honestly. I mean, 15, no, okay. Maybe we're just going to end up with 20. I'm sorry if you wanted one of these and didn't get to eat one, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. We did pop a hole in the bag, that's a bummer. I think we're also still way too thick. I'm going to take some of this off because we're not using all of the dough to make the flats. I'll tell you what we're doing with that later, if you haven't guessed it by now. Whole Markets Foods makes the best jelly. In general, not this specific one. If you were wondering what the best specific jelly is, right here. This is difficult to open with slippery hands, but I accomplished it. What we're going to do is spoon a bit of the jelly into the middle of each of our spaghetti ice cream cookies. Now, if you're familiar with spaghetti ice cream, then what is there at the bottom of the spaghetti ice cream? That's right, Cool Whip. However, we're going to go with jelly because these cookies are German and have very little sugar in them, and they need some sweetness. And jelly sometimes, not exactly this time I would say, looks like tomato sauce. And that's the vibe we're going for. So I'm just putting a little dollop on the tomato sauce. If you go to like a Michelin starred restaurant, this is usually how they plate their spaghetti, with a little tomato sauce on the plate first, and then the spaghetti on top. I think you get the gist. I'll stop talking and speed it up for you. Alright, now if somebody asks you, how do you make spaghetti ice cream? Your first reaction is, in this case, the right one. If you say, I don't know, like, put ice cream in a spaghetti thing and push out some spaghetti strands made out of ice cream, and that's exactly how you do it. So that's how we're going to do it on these cookies. We have pre-plated our sauce. Now we're going to get our spaghetti thing. Ta-da! We are going to get a little bit of the extra dough. I don't know how much yet, so we'll test it as we go. And then we're just going to push it onto the plate made out of cookie. Okay, so this is what it looked like. This is clearly not long enough spaghetti. So it did like do the thing, but I didn't have enough dough in there because there's way too many not enough long strands. So let's fill it up completely. As another test to see how long they come out. We'll fill this up and we'll cut off these strands. And then I'll just press out a test. I don't think you can see any of that, can you? Alright, that's a lot of spaghetti, I would say. It's a handful of spaghetti. Probably more than you need on a single cookie plate. But that allowed us to calibrate how much dough goes in the thing. And this is the answer in case you were wondering. This much. Basically full, but not exactly. It's like maybe less than a tablespoon. And should I use the one with no walls? Yeah, let's do the other one first, so you get a better visual. All right, we start in the middle, obviously. And just sort of strain your spaghetti around. At this point, you should have your knife handy, so you can cut off the strands. Using the back of the knife is fine. Now it said to push it down a little. So that's what I'm going to do. And make a little hole in the middle. Because we're going to put some more tomato sauce on top. That right there is your plating for a spaghetti ice cream cookie. All we're missing is the Parmesan cheese. That comes at the end. Once I press more pasta out. This is what we reserved some of the dough for, and I have way too much in there, I can tell you. So it will make more than 20 cookies, which is good. It is completely covering the lower level of jelly, like you can't even see it. So that means I'm either putting on too much spaghetti, or it was supposed to, and that's there, I don't know, for flavor. I don't know. You can't really ask questions of recipes. I'm trying to put a little twist to it, but it's difficult. Especially because you're going to push it down in the middle anyway. It's also kind of pointless. Okay, I only have a little bit of dough left, honestly. I could maybe make like 1 or 2 more cookies, but I'm kind of curious, maybe I'll do something else with them instead. Now I'm just going to add some more pasta sauce on top of each one. Not too much, I don't want to drown out the spaghetti. People can stir it around if they like when it gets to their plate. I will leave 1 or 2 of them with no sauce because I know some people don't like sauce in their pasta. Although I will say that the cookies definitely need the sugar. Just throw that out there. And a reminder that this is strawberry, not tomato jelly. And then a final reminder that if you eat not strawberry ice cream, spaghetti ice cream in Germany, the best part of it is actually the strawberry sauce on top, not the ice cream, certainly not the Cool Whip underneath, but the strawberry sauce. So as I said that, I started like subconsciously influencing how much sauce I'm putting on, and I'm definitely over saucing some of these, but hopefully an American sweet tooth won't mind. Alright, we're just leaving one unsauced. It's not even the best pasta. That was kind of poor planning. Lastly is the Parmigiano Reggiano. Now I bought chocolate. I don't have any type of shredder. I know that might surprise you, that I had a pasta press but not a grater, and believe me when I tell you that I was equally surprised to find the pasta press in my cabinet when I looked. So we're just going to, these are already awfully small, but we're just gonna chop them with the knife. Actually, never mind. I don't have a a slap chop. So we're gonna just chop. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, we're just looking for the consistency of Parmigiano Reggiano. If it helps you, you can take some out, toss it down on the bench next to it to compare. I think it looks pretty close. You're going to want to make sure you don't grab from the wrong pile when you're now putting it onto the cookie. And then we're just going to tappa. Let's do a little test here. I think that'll work fine. We'll just rain down chocolates. Alright, I think the camera's on this one. Just a little bit, just a little dusting. You know, don't go crazy with it. Real Parmesan's expensive, remember? Comes from the city of Reggiano. I did run out of the fake Parmesan. I might have to use the real on the remaining cookies. There you are. Some real German spaghetti ice cream cookies. Just like German Santa Claus always eats. We're going to bake it for 12 minutes at 350 degrees in the oven. It's going to come out looking like this. I was busy cleaning the kitchen, and I honestly did not check what time I put these in the oven. But they're probably done? Question mark? I don't know, they're brown around the edges. The actual pasta doesn't actually seem that brown though. Maybe they're not done. Do you think they're done? I'm not sure how to tell. Maybe I'll put them in for another minute. Alright, so they're done. I looked it up and they're not supposed to turn brown around the edges, so it's fine. I also found out you're supposed to grate the white chocolate on it now, after it's been cooked, so it doesn't melt, so it looks like it's fresh on top. I obviously forgot to do that, but otherwise I think it looks kind of weird. So challenge complete. What did I do with the extra dough? I made a giant pizza cookie, of course, from my Italian viewers.